Trust is more than just a buzzword. In today's marketing landscape, investing in trust can drive revenue growth. In 2024, Trustpilot commissioned Forrester Consulting, a leading independent research consultancy, to conduct a total economic impact study examining the benefits of using the Trustpilot review platform. Their findings show that interviewed customers who are using Trustpilot to manage their brand reputation achieved an ROI of over 400%. To find out how Trustpilot benefits businesses, visit business.trustpilot.com/calculate ROI.
Hi, I'm Erica Wheelis, food and restaurant marketing reporter at Ad Age, and welcome to another edition of the Marketer's Brief podcast, our weekly discussion about marketing news and trends that have the industry buzzing. After seeing solid sales in the US, Hi-Chew is looking to connect with even more consumers, especially Gen Z. To do this, the candy brand has created its first ever mascot, Chewbie. I caught up with Joanne Hsu, Senior Brand Marketing Manager at Morinaga America, Inc., Hi-Chew's parent company, to learn about the process of creating Chewbie, what a mascot will bring to the brand, and trends that she is watching in the candy space. Now, here's my conversation with Joanne. Okay, so Joanne, we got to start here. Let me just make sure I have this right. So this is Hi-Chew's first ever brand mascot, correct?
Correct.
Can you talk about why now? What made you guys say the brand needs a mascot?
Absolutely. So Hi-Chew has been steadfast in growing its market share in the US in the past couple years. And then we first introduced Hi-Chew brand in the US in 2008. And then we see a significant growth of the brand and sales in the past years. We were able to hit the 100 million sales mark in 2021, and we constantly see a 30% growth year over year. With that said, we see a significant opportunity for the brand to take a further step to introduce, a customer crafting brand mascot to create a face of Hi-Chew and introduce that to our brand fans.
Very nice. Okay, so for those who may not be familiar, the mascot is Chewbie. He is kind of he's a little bit of a rounder guy. He's white. He's got yellow eyes. He wears a little blue ball cap. He's got blue sneakers. If anybody has seen, if anybody is familiar with Baymax, the helpful robot, he has a similar energy to that. Can you talk a little bit about the inspiration for Chewbie? And I'll note too that you all worked with GigaSavvy to help create him. But what was maybe some other mascots or ideas that you had that inspired creating Chewbie?
Yeah, it was a very interesting project for our team and also for our creative agency because it's not really common to see a brand creating a mascot nowadays, especially in the candy segments. So when we dig into the options or all the possibilities we have, we try to strike a balance between creating a literal versus a relational mascot. As you can see, a lot of especially in candy segments, a lot of candy brand mascot, they are more toward literal, like M&M, like Sour Patch Kids. But we, Hi-Chew brand, I think we try to strike a great balance between these two, not to being literal or too relational. People cannot associate the mascot with the brand. So we kind of extend the product features, if you will. So Hi-Chew, the Chew-Lace candy itself, has a double layer. That's pretty unique of the brand itself. And we try to extend that feature to mascot to make it slightly literal, but also relational. So Chewbie itself is still a human look. as you can see from the body shape, it doesn't look like literally like the candy itself.
Mhm.
So when we create a mascot, I think we put a lot more focus on what personalities we want Chewbie to embody with and to deliver the message of the brand. So Chewbie aims to bring in excitement and joy to everyone, while sometimes Chewbie will also cause a little mischief along the way. I think that's the big picture of Chewbie's personality.
Talk to me a little about that, because yes, I have a question for you of he does have it's a little bit of a goofy personality, but you've kind of introed him on social as yes, kind of a mischief maker. Can you talk about the decision to have like that for that to be his personality? Like what made you guys say that fits our brand?
Absolutely. So Chubby is a lovable instigator of fun, like who always encourage brand fans to embrace their authentic selves and then experience the whimsical world of Haichu. The reason why we kind of define Chubby's personality as instigator of fun, because we always seen like Haichu brands being perceived as an innovative brand, a unique brand among consumers ever since like last year, we actually launched a new commercial last year. The key message in that commercial was all about choose different, choose fun, and choose high chew. We take pride in our innovative approach across the board through like product innovation. Doesn't matter it's the quality of the product or it's the flavors, the packagings, or all the market initiatives. I think uniqueness is the core essence of the brands that we try to convey to the consumer. So continue with that message, choose different, choose fun, choose high chew. We wanted to encourage the fans that to choose something fun, choose something different. So Chewbie has some like very unique personality and common like habits, including Chewbie always gets into innocent mischief. Chewbie always being spontaneous and carefree, and Chewbie always choose fun over ordinary. We wanted to encourage our brand fan to be extraordinary if we were able to, right? And then to be always let curiosity get the best of them and trying to explore new things like every single day.
It's very cute. Another aspect about Chewbie. So Chewbie, my understanding is that they are gender neutral. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so we really want to create a brand mascot that resonated with our key target customer, which are Gen Z. So Chibi does not have any gender definition because at the end of the day, we wanted to encourage our target audience, the Gen Z, to be like Chibi, be unique, be different, be extraordinary. And as you can see, Chibi's design, the design of Chibi itself, from the baseball hats, from the chunky blue sneakers or Chewbie's accessories like a fanny pack, hoodies, it all kind of resonated with the Gen Z culture. So we don't see a necessity to have Chewbie has a gender definition. In addition to that, Chewbie only speak Chewish, meaning Chewbie only speak Chew, no matter how, but it doesn't mean Chew does not come with a meaning. Chew still come with the meaning with the different tones and then the way how Chewbie talks. But again, we want to make Chewbie neutral, appeal to a wider Gen Z audience.
Okay, could you talk to us, Joanne, about maybe some iterations of Chewbie that you came up with in the process? Like who didn't become the final mascot, but as you were iterating through him, what kind of came up?
Ooh, that's a interesting question. As far as I remember, so we had a multiple rounds of concept development, and one of the mascot characters that we were debating internally was a butterfly and then a caterpillar. And then at the end, we didn't like end up moving forward with that direction because we still love to showcasing and extending the product feature from the candy itself, like I shared earlier. I feel like Chewbie, the appearance of itself, like best describe the product and the brand itself. But we have a multiple rounds of discussion internally. In addition to Caterpillar and then butterfly. I think one of the ideas we also have was the unicorn. Absolutely, unicorn has a very colorful, vibrant color personality. I think that also speaks to the brand. But again, I think Chewbie is the best option out of all the things that we did.
So going through this process, Joanne, what do you think was the most challenging part? Like, was there something like a roadblock that you hit that you were maybe surprised at? There's a lot that goes into making a mascot.
Yeah, definitely. I guess the biggest challenge I would say is, like I shared earlier, is finding a balance between making the mascot literal to the extent where people or consumer are able to associate the mascot with the product itself, but also striking a balance between making not too literal, but relational as well. I think that's a core kind of challenge that we face during the discussion. In addition to that, another minor challenge was just debating between whether we are going to have a single character versus a cast of characters. But we ended up wanting to just focus on one character at the beginning of launching a new brand mascot for the brand.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, let's take a short break to hear this message from our sponsor.
Did you know that improving trust and reputation with Trustpilot can have tangible business benefits? With Trustpilot, interviewed customers experience benefits of $1.2 million over 3 years. This is what Forrester Consulting has discovered in the 2024 commissioned Total Economic Impact Study of using the Trustpilot review platform. To find out how Trustpilot drove growth for its customers, visit business.trustpilot.com/calculate ROI.
Welcome back to the Marketer's Brief podcast. I'm speaking with Joanne Hsu, Senior Brand Marketing Manager at Morinaga America, Inc., which is the parent company of Haichu. So I assume that a part of this too, Joanne, you said that Chewbie was meant to resonate with Gen Z. I'm curious if you all used consumer data to kind of help shape what you were looking for in a mascot.
So I think most of this decision was making based of our understanding of the consumers in the past. There was no, honestly, a designated research associated with this brand muscle specifically. But I think we had a lot of insights coming from like social media, the contents that we created, the feedback from the consumer, knowing that what's the trends among Gen Z and what they look for. We also did a consumer research every year. We call that Chewpoo survey. So we describe our diehard fan as Chewpoo. We had an annual survey to discover some consumer insights. From there, we also learn more about what consumers expect to see from the brands across the board. And I think that all kind of shape the final output of the mascot today.
Okay, you mentioned social media, Joanne, and yeah, I want to ask here. I assume it would be really helpful to have a brand mascot when it comes to making social content, because it's a great way to have a unifying face or voice across those platforms. Was that also part of the reason for creating Chewbie?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we wanted to create a character that can have a two-way communication or active communication with the followers on social media. So with the launch of Chewbie going forward, our brand fans will be able to see Chewbie showing up more often on our social media across different platforms. So we envision Chewbie will be hopping on the trends, hopping on the hot topics, having some interesting conversation with the Gen Z consumers, and also maybe the innovator of the new flavors or tasting our flavors behind the scenes. I think that's all something that we are considering and then working on right now.
I'm eager to see Chewbie do so like the newest dance trend or something. That'll be fun.
Exactly, totally.
I want to zoom out for a minute here, Joanne, because I wanted to just ask like a larger trend question here about consumer consumption habits. How have consumers' candy eating habits changed in the last couple of years?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think especially in non-chocolate candy category, we haven't seen that consumers are looking for something innovative in flavors year over year. So we started the brand and then the products with the fruity flavors over the past decades. And then we started to see where consumers are getting more excitement when it comes to a new unconventional flavor. So in 2022, we launched the Fantasy Mix, an unconventional flavor mix to the market. It was a huge success for the brand. And then we continue to see a momentum of the success like till today of that flavor mix. That gives our brands and the company a confidence in constantly introducing unconventional flavor mix to the market and to the consumer to continuously entice the consumer with something new and different every day. So this year we also launched a dessert mix. It's a newly flavors that you wouldn't be able to see in the non-chocolate chewy candy segment. So to your questions, I think consumer looking for something unique in the flavor, the textures nowadays, in addition to the traditional classic fruity flavor they've been used to.
Can you share a couple of the flavors that you all included in the dessert mix and the first one that you had mentioned?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the fantasy mix, it comes with blue Hawaii, blue raspberry, and rainbow sorbet. In the dessert mix that we launched this year, it comes with strawberry ice cream, key lime pie, and then candy apple.
Oh, wow. Key lime pie is an interesting one for sure.
That is my favorite flavor in this flavor mix, key lime pie. And then we also see a lot of brand fans that really love this flavor.
Why do you think that is that people are looking for maybe not just the traditional, grape, apple, blue raspberry flavors?
Yeah, I believe there are still a quite amount of, more nostalgia and then looking for classical flavors like consumers available right now in the marketplace. But then I think with the Gen Z becoming the more key buyers in the candy segments, like Gen Z, they love to explore something new, something different, generally speaking, especially in snacking. They're looking for an elevated and a unique snacking experience. So that's why we see an unconventional flavors that would stand out from the crowd, from the competitions on the product shelf, and then give consumers something new and refresh snacking experience.
Okay, so Joanne, I know we touched a little bit on social media, but I wanted to ask too, just like in general about your marketing mix. So can you tell me a little bit about like where are you seeing good return when it comes to Haichu? Is it traditional, linear, out of home? What's working for you?
We see social media plays a very important role to our marketing efforts. Recent years, we definitely put more focus on TikTok and Instagram because that's where the Gen Z consumer, they spend the most time in terms of the social media platform. So social media definitely brings us a lot more brand visibility. In addition to that, we also leverage a lot more on influencers content. So we've been partnering with different type of influencers across different categories from candy influencer, gaming influencers, different variety of mix of content. And that really helps to generate more brand visibility and to grow the brand awareness. So I would say social media influencer marketing are the two most kind of important or most effective marketing approaches to our brand.
Makes sense, especially for Gen Z, for sure. All right, Joanne, I want to do my personal favorite, just a general trends question. What are you keeping an eye on in your world? It could be in candy, it could be marketing in general, or it could be something else. But what are you watching?
Yeah, I think we've been noticing that again, I feel like unconventional flavor is becoming something really trending right now. We have been seeing a lot more trending flavors coming up in the overall candy segment. and not just the non-chocolate chewy candy category. But in addition to that, we see a lot of brand collaborations between two different brands that people or consumer might not expecting to see a collaboration between these two brands. I feel like consumers are getting very excited to see some brand collaborations between, for example, a snack brands versus a beverage brands or across different, food categories. I think that's definitely a trend that I've been seeing and I've been watching.
That was Joanne Hsu, Senior Brand Marketing Manager at Morinaga America, Inc. I'm Erica Wheelis, Food and Restaurant Marketing Reporter at Ad Age. I'd like to thank our producer, Lauren Ciardio, and invite you to subscribe to The Marketer's Brief wherever you get your podcasts. We promise to keep it brief, or at least short enough for your morning coffee. Thanks for tuning in.
Marketer's Brief listeners get $40 off an adage.com subscription. Sharpen your marketing edge and visit adage.com/brief for your discount.